everybody, Laura here. So glad you're joining me today. I have a fun, colorful, geometric project to share with you. It's featuring the Perfect Shape stamp set. Here it is right here. I'm going to only be using that largest hexagon image out of that stamp set. I have a piece of Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock, and I took my ruler to draw a straight line kind of on an angle. I'm going to use that as a guide to make sure my pattern making is straight. So I'm going to do Emboss Resist. First thing you got to do is create your pattern. So I rubbed it down with my magic powder bag because this whole pattern is embossing. You can't really see it right now, but believe me, it's magic in there happening. Okay, so I stamped a hexagon and poured on clear embossing powder. Then I stamped the second hexagon halfway into, kind of overlapping the previous hexagon, and so on and so forth. The whole row down, I'm just overlapping hexagons. And it is kind of hard to see, but I have that line as a guide. I just try to stay straight along there. I'm not really sure if I'm getting it perfectly halfway in. It doesn't have to be perfection. We're just having fun, right? So I'm starting my second row, and I stamp the hexagon, and I pour on, each time I stamp it, I pour on clear embossing powder, and then I stamp it again, overlapping, and I pour on embossing powder. So you stamp, pour, stamp, pour, stamp, pour. So that's why I'm only doing 2 rows, because, you know, it's a lot of stamping and it's a lot of pouring. And you can't really tell for sure if you've got it right. You're not going to really see until you start blending the ink over top of it. So once I get my second row, I heat it up with the heat gun. I erase my pencil mark, and then we'll begin with the ink blending. So I've got the Perfect Shapes, the coordinating dies. I'm using that same exact hexagon, the largest one, and I just die cut it into some scrap white cardstock. I'm going to use this as a mask and begin ink blending. And now you will see the geometric pattern begin to emerge. And of course, you know, I'm going to go in rainbow order. Is there any other order to go in? So I'm starting with mustard seed. And then I think I did, what is this one? Wild Honey. Some of these are kind of new colors for me. I'm slowly building my mini Distress Ink Cube collection. I'm up to 3 tins now. And I'll tell you what, these tins fill up. They fill up, but I do love them. I do love them. So I got the, oh, I did that new one. This is a new one, the that carved pumpkin. Great vibrant orange color, and then abandoned coral, and then this is another new one to me, candied apple, fantastic red. And go back onto the left side of that mustard seed, and I'll start with some green. So I did twisted citron and mowed lawn, and then just along the edge I bring in a little aqua with peacock feathers. Now you could really use any ink that you have, any brand. Simon's the Stamp inks will work perfectly. Any type of ink that you have on hand, just use the colors you love and go for it. I'm using the Distress inks right now because I'm a bit obsessed with the water flicking with my little mini mister, and I just love that reaction of the water flicks on top of the Distress inks. And that is also why I use the watercolor cardstock, because I'm learning, although it does flick and give you just a fabulous reaction on Nina Solar White, it gives you an even more intense reaction on watercolor cardstock, especially the bright white Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock. So I'm loving that right now. I'm doing it almost on every card. So that's why I'm building my Distress ink collection, because mama can't stop the flicking. I just love it. Here it is right here. I'll show you how it goes. Take my mini mister. I just tap that, and all I have is water, and I just tap it and flick it and go around till I'm happy. And I take a paper towel, sop it up, and ba-boom, there it is. Okay, so moving on to the sentiment. This is the On the Edge Love You die. I'm going to die cut this sentiment right along the angle of the pattern, and I held that down with a little bit of Post-it tape, ran it through my Big Shot off camera. I'm just taking my ruler and X-Acto knife just to trim off that little smidge on the left-hand side. That's all there was. So easy. It's done. Now you can pop it up. I made a card base out of fog, Simon's Stamp fog cardstock, so you get that contrast with the gray and the white and the rainbow and the Emboss Resist. I'm adding a few sparkling clear sequins. The card's finished. Look how fun. It's graphic. It's modern. It's clean. It's awesome. Don't you love it? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.